Hi, I'm Caroline Bateman. At the moment, we're on the third lockdown in the UK and schools are closed for the second time. That's really hard on everybody. For parents, particularly those who work or have children with special needs. For students, particularly those that cannot access remote lessons for whatever reason. And for teachers who've had to learn to be remote learning wizards overnight. They really are unsung heroes. So I wanted to do my bit to help, but I'm no essential frontline worker. I don't have any medical skills, but I do know how to help students improve their grades. So at a time when so many people are struggling with education, I thought I'd create an ebook to do my bit to help. Now, I'm also creating this video because there are certain things that are quite hard to get into writing, particularly if you're dyslexic like me. But I'd have preferred to do a video of everything, but an ebook is a much better way of transferring knowledge because you can tick off what you've done and you can refer back to it easily. So the ebook and the video really do work together. Now, for full disclosure, I should say that I normally work with students who have difficulties at school, be it they have dyslexia, dysgraphia, or they've had a lot of time off school sick. But 80 to 90% of what I teach would help any student. So if you hear me referring to special needs, that's the reason why. So I'm coming at this from three perspectives. I'm a parent and I want to share the problems we encountered as a family when two of my children had their exams cancelled last year. As an educator who knows how to help children improve grades, but also somebody who teaches remotely, I want to teach you how you can be more successful with remote learning. And finally, as a learning technology consultant, I want to share little tips with technology that don't cost very much. In fact, most of them are free, that can really help. This ebook is different in that it's aimed at parents and students because I believe that parental support can really make the difference for success. So I want to help you to work effectively, parents and students, rather than parents nagging students. I want to start off with some encouragement because these are hard times. And I do believe the government has really learned some lessons from last year. I mentioned that my son had his A-levels cancelled and my daughter had her GCSEs cancelled. And as a result, it was very hard to motivate either of them to continue with any learning at all because they just didn't see the point. Now, my eldest was really jealous that they got away with taking exams, but genuinely it did not help them. Nobody progresses or matures if they have that long off. So what the government have done that I think is much better is they are not using the algorithm, which was ridiculously unfair, and they have not set a cut-off date yet, and it is assumed that they will continue to assess right up till May, which is great because it gives you time to improve all the way up till May. Whereas for my children last year, the cut-off was when they closed schools at the end of March. And what I love is it takes into consideration what is being taught. So here is a news item from the BBC. It's a quote from Ofqual, which is the exams watchdog, and it says they will only take into account the part of the syllabus that a school has covered, because there is a huge disparity between schools that are doing full online lessons every day, hardly any difference from going to school, and other schools that are hardly doing any remote learning. So the assessment will be on what the school has covered, which is much fairer. I would even dare to say that in some instances this is good news, because teachers can teach the subject rather than exam technique. Those people that struggle with exam anxiety are in a much better position. I mentioned that my daughter was jealous that her siblings didn't have to sit exams because she is somebody who performs incredibly well throughout the year, does very well in mocks, but never does quite as well in formal exams because she struggles with exam anxiety, and she is not alone. And the other group of people that I think will really be helped by this is there are a large number of people who just do not have the correct access arrangements. That's the reasonable adjustments. And that's because their schools just do not have the resources to provide the evidence required. So in some ways, teacher assessed grades are good news for some people. I want to give you a quick peek as to what's inside the ebook. So first of all, I suggest ways that you need to do research or investigate and find out the grades you currently have and what you need to achieve in order to progress to your next stage of education. By doing this, you'll know where to prioritize your time and energy. This might seem really obvious, but it's amazing how many people miss the obvious when they're stressed and working in new and strange ways, as all of us are. The second section is all about getting organized. Within there, I give a lot of information on how to improve your internet speed and how to select affordable devices, because that can sometimes make a huge difference to students, but also how to just be prepared before a remote lesson. The third section is all about providing evidence. Schools collect evidence through these 3 areas. This is what the government has told us they are going to do, and for each of these I not only give you advice, but I link to other resources and other ebooks and technology that will help you provide the school with evidence in all of these areas. The fourth section is probably the most important, because once you've identified your areas of weakness, I make suggestions for how to turn around poor grades into great grades. Please don't be discouraged if you're currently not achieving the grades you need, because between January and May, teachers expect students to improve their grades. That's the reason why you go to school. And then the last 2 sections are the ones that are most dear to my heart, because there are many families that are really disadvantaged by the current situation. In this first one, I suggest other resources that you can use that can replace lessons. And in the second, I give links to resources to help get technology for free during the pandemic. This is so true. We are all in the same storm, but we are not in the same boat. And so those of you that feel that you're hanging on with just one oar, I hope that the information that I supplied will be helpful. And before I finish, I just want to say that this ebook is a little bit rough and ready. It's not up to my usual standard. Usually I use a package to make all the pages really professional, but I've kind of created this myself online because that way I can continue adding to it, because I don't believe it's the finished product yet. But I want to get this information out so I help people sooner rather than later. And obviously I'm hideously dyslexic, so please bear with any mistakes I make, and feel free to let me know any typing errors or spelling errors I make so I can correct them. You can get the ebook by clicking on the link in the details below, and I really hope you find it useful. If you're somebody that normally finds school easy and you like doing exams, then this probably isn't the channel for you. But if you struggle at all at school, or if you support someone that struggles at school, I'd really recommend you hit the subscribe button and then click the bell button, and you'll be informed when I create new videos, because I'm always trying to help learners achieve their full potential. If you know of anyone else who could benefit from this information, please share it with them. And do let me know what you found the most useful, because it helps me creating new resources. Do check out my other videos and ebooks, as they're all designed to help learners achieve.